man was found dead inside the graveyard, his body twisted in a way no one had ever seen before. His face was pale, his eyes wide, open in terror, as if he had seen something no living person should ever see. His mouth was frozen in a scream that would never end. The people of the town stood around his corpse, frightened and confused. No one wanted to go close because the smell around his body was not like death. It was like burning mixed with decay. People whispered among themselves, "What happened to him? Why did Allah punish him here in this place?" The man's name was Karim. He was known in the town not for good deeds but for his greed. Ever since he was young, he had been careless about prayer, careless about the rights of others, and greedy for wealth. He loved money more than his family, more than honor, and more than Allah. His heart was hard, and he had no shame in taking what was not his. People avoided him, but they never imagined that his sins reached the level that would bring down such a punishment. It was only after his death that the truth slowly began to spread. Some elders in the town remembered seeing him walking late at night toward the graveyard. At first, they thought he went there to visit a grave, but no. He would go there with a shovel, with cloth, and sometimes with a small lamp. When asked, he would lie and say he only went to pray for his relatives. But Allah exposes the truth, and soon it was clear. Karim was entering graves to steal. He would dig out fresh graves, take jewelry buried with the dead, and even snatch away the white shrouds that wrapped the bodies. Then he would sell them in secret markets. To him, the graveyard was not a place of fear or reflection. It was a place of opportunity for his evil heart. One night, he told himself he would steal from the grave of a wealthy woman who had been buried only 2 days earlier. She had been buried with golden bracelets and a necklace because her family wanted to honor her. Karim's greed burned like fire. He waited until midnight, took his shovel and went into the graveyard. The night was dark, the clouds covered the moon, and the wind blew through the trees with a low moan. Still, Karim was not afraid of the unseen. He only cared for gold. He reached the grave, looked around, and started digging. His heart beat faster, not out of fear, but out of excitement. He thought of the money he would gain, the food he could buy, the drink he would enjoy. Soon the shovel struck wood. He wiped his forehead and smiled. He opened the grave and reached inside to pull the body. The smell of death rose like poison, but his greed made him blind. He pulled off the bracelet, the necklace, and even tried to cut a ring from her finger. He laughed to himself in the darkness, mocking the dead woman who could no longer protect her belongings. But then something happened that night, something no one saw except Karim and the angels that record deeds. The earth trembled lightly under him. He thought it was his imagination. But then a cold voice filled the air, a voice that shook his bones. "Do you not fear Allah who created you? Do you not fear the day when you will lie in this grave yourself?" Karim froze. His hands shook. He looked around, but no one was there. The air grew heavy, and the darkness pressed against him. Suddenly, he felt as if unseen hands grabbed his legs. He screamed and tried to climb out of the grave, but the soil shifted under him. He fell back inside. The wood of the coffin broke, and he landed beside the corpse. The woman's face, pale and silent, seemed to look at him. He tried to crawl out again, but the soil poured in faster, like the grave itself wanted to swallow him. He shouted, but no one could hear him in the empty graveyard. The earth filled his mouth, his eyes widened in terror, and his heart stopped. When people found him in the morning, his body was twisted inside the grave, half buried, half out, as if the grave had rejected him. The news spread quickly. Everyone in the town gathered. They looked at his face and knew this was no ordinary death. His eyes were open wide in horror, his tongue stuck out as if trying to escape the taste of soil. The smell was so strong that even strong men covered their noses. The scholars of the town came and said, "This is the punishment of Allah. He disrespected the graves, he stole from the dead, and he mocked the sacred trust. Allah punished him in the same place where he sinned." After his burial, people in the town felt fear every time they passed the graveyard. Some said they could hear his screams in the wind. Others said they saw shadows near his grave. Whether true or not, the story spread as a lesson. Parents told their children, "Never forget Allah, never mock the dead, never steal from what is sacred." His story was told again and again as a warning. Greed can blind the heart, but Allah's justice never sleeps. Years passed, but Karim's grave remained untouched. Grass grew over it, but no one went near. Travelers who passed the graveyard at night claimed they saw a faint light or heard strange sounds. The scholars said, this is a sign that his punishment continues and a reminder for the living. The lesson of Karim's story is simple. The grave is a place of respect. Every human, no matter rich or poor, is equal before Allah when they lie beneath the soil. To violate the sanctity of the grave is to invite the wrath of the one who created life and death. Karim thought he could take wealth from the dead, but in the end, he lost his own soul. His story remains as a clear sign. Those who forget Allah and run after sins will face their punishment sooner or later, whether in this world or the next. And so, in the silence of the graveyard, Karim's twisted body was left as a lesson. People still speak of him, not with pity, but with fear. They remember his greed, his mockery, and his end. And they say, this is what happens when a man thinks gold is greater than Allah. This is what happens when a heart is blind.